David Leddick. Yes, one more round of come on up. I don't, I usually have been interviewing people about when they came out. It isn't that we've run out of gay guys in Miami Beach, I can promise you that. But just for some reason, can I lure them over here? I will get some soon. But I've been told that it's okay for me to be by myself and just talk about things. It's kind of interesting. So I thought, I've chosen subjects that really interest me. So I thought, today I want to talk about gay marriage. In that I think everybody, it's going to happen. It's, as I tell everybody, in 10 years being gay is going to be like being Swedish. It's a little different, but in no important way. And people are going to get married, and they're going to get divorced, and they're going to get married again, and be just like everybody else. And there's a great cartoon in the New Yorker. This man is saying, he's reading the paper, and he's saying to his wife, "I'm all for gay marriage. Why shouldn't they suffer like the rest of us?" Which I think, I just wanted because my blog mistress had a long-term relationship, and we talk about embarking on another long-term relationship. And I'm in my fourth one. I'm 82. I think I deserve to be in my fourth one. But they've all been, one of them was like 30 years. So it isn't that I'm a stranger to very long-term relationships. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about the fact, that, you deserve to be able to get married, and you should if you're gay, and you should if you want to. It's also all right if you don't want to. I'm very romantic. I don't really, my parents did not have a role model marriage that I would have wanted to be like. My sister and I, neither of us would ever, my parents fought all the time. They battled constantly. My sister married somebody who would have loved to have battled, but she would never battle with him. And I'm not going to argue with people. It's fine with me. But you have to realize, once you get married, or once you're really, really in a relationship, every relationship is the lover and the loved one. There is the person who loves more, even if it's 49%. And when you talk to people and you present this idea that every relationship is lover, loved one, the loved one always says, no, that's not true. Our relationship is very balanced. And it's the lover, the loved one always says it's very balanced. The lover will never talk about it. The lover doesn't want to pursue the subject because the lover is the one who's organizing things and planning the trips and paying the bills and not arguing and keeping the relationship balanced. And, in talking to my blog mistress, we both agree that in a relationship, you like being the lover better, because the lover is the one who feels everything and is having all the emotion and is having the fulfilling part. And I think, in most relationships, the balance between lover and loved one isn't that great. You get some that's very unbalanced. Most of them are kind of balanced. And if they go on long enough, really, very often the balance changes. You suddenly find that the one who used to be the loved one is now the lover, and the one that used to be the lover is now the loved one. And you learn, and you realize, this can go, in our lifetime, we may go through this 3 or 4 times where one cares more and is doing more to keep the whole thing going. But you have to understand, just because it's not 50-50 is no reason to break it up. And you don't know but what it's going to shift the other way anytime soon. And you have to just you have to be grown up. To have a real relationship, you got to grow up. You can't just be a high school kid and expect to be And I particularly don't like is when people keep repeating the pattern. My brother, my oldest brother, he married twice. He married exactly the same woman both times. Beautiful, difficult person. Divorced the first one and married somebody else who was exactly the same beautiful, difficult person. He really didn't shift gears after the first long-term relationship into another one. So I think you have to step back and look at yourself and say, look, what am I, what I can change in this relationship is me. I can't really change the other person. The other person, if they want to step back and change themselves, they can, but you can't change them. And one piece of advice, never get involved with someone because they're going to be different after you get married. Honey, they are not going to be different after that you get married. I don't know, it doesn't mean they could never be. But whoever you marry, whoever you involve yourself with in a long term, that's it. That's them. And please, my own personal feeling is, Don't marry somebody because you really like them. You got to marry somebody because you're crazy about them. When you sit up in bed in the night and you say to yourself, what in the hell am I doing here? And you look at this person, you say, I'm here because I was crazy about that person. I have every reason to be here. If you were never crazy about them, you can wonder why you got yourself into this pickle. All right? But you know, once you've been really crazy about somebody, no matter what happens, it's justified. You are justified. In my opinion, you are entirely justified, because really, these relationships where you really like, it's a roommate with a little sex thrown in. You know, I don't buy that. I don't think, you know, at the end of the line, you want to be able to lay down and say, okay, I'm checking out and I have felt everything I can feel. I have done everything I could do emotionally. Because finally, you know, happiness is about living. Happiness is about having done stuff. It's not about your car and your jewelry and your house and all this stuff. Stuff is stuff. But what really makes you feel good is I lived. I really, really did. And that means you really got involved with somebody else. So please, you don't have to get married. You can have a long-term relationship. But, and this is for men and women as well as men and women and women. I think everybody's got the same deal. So that's, I want you to think about that. I'm all for it, but you have to really do a lot of work after the marriage as well as before it. Okay? See you soon.